All right, what's up, guys? My name is Delonte Cooper. Today, I'm going to be telling you guys about this cool website that I built. It's called NeuroRisk. So essentially, a NeuroRisk is imagine like a Swiss Army knife, but for finance, kind of like Bloomberg Terminal, but on a lesser scale. So like Bloomberg Light. And what it does is it like calculates and assesses your risk tolerance, and then it benchmarks that compared to the like actual risk within your portfolio, and then it suggests like firms that matches your investment style, finance leaders that invest just like you. It's a pretty cool tool, and that's not the only thing about it. There's also news articles as well, so you're not forced to like take a quiz if you don't really feel like taking a quiz. Kind of think of the news site as TLDR News. That's where I got some of my inspiration from, and it's all really about finance. And here, if you scroll all the way down here, if you add like specific securities, then this will update. Okay, this will update and be curated to your portfolio, which is pretty sick, in my opinion. All right, and this updates practically every day, right? Uh, and then you can add your Gmail here to like get news, and all of these articles are free. So these are all free, no like Wall Street Journal or anything like that. But let's go in. Oh, and here's like the SP 500, and you can see a year or 5 years or 10 years, or like a week, which is really just like 5 days. And it just shows you the constant movements of the SP 500. Right, but let's build our portfolio, or rather, let's assess our risk. So you can either take a 6 question quiz, or if you want to go deeper, you can take like a 16 questionnaire, right? And you can add your contact info here if you want. And it's never like contact info, it's just like your name plus your phone number, not your phone number, your name plus your email. I recommend that you do this, like a little rough estimate about how much that you plan to invest. It doesn't have to be real, all right? It can be fake. You can add like $1 million if you want, right? Like it doesn't really matter. Lowest you can go is like 100, but let's just do 10,000, and let's do like a quick little 6 question quiz, right? And this is all for educational purposes, all right? Like I am not a certified professional. I'm just college grad with a finance degree. So how long do you plan on keeping your investments? I'm actually going to do this based on how I truly do my own personal investments. So 10 plus years, you invest 10,000. 6 months later, it's worth 8,000, $2,000 loss. What do? Buy more at a lower price. Your $10,000 portfolio starts falling. At one point, would you give in and sell? Around 35%. Cut down some of the exposure. Um, do you need regular income from your investments? In my opinion, yes. You need some dividends to reinvest. Advance. Now, what is your primary investment goal? Mine is to like maximize maximize long-term wealth. All right, so for me, my neuro number is 14 out of 99. This is basically like your risk score here. So scores, it's volatility and stuff like this. Now bumpiness, I this was originally your volatility, but I changed this to bumpiness because not a lot of people know the finance technical terms, which you can explore right here actually over in the glossary tab. We'll get to that later. But my bumpiness or my volatility is 8.4%, and my growth would be 7.4%. which I think that the stock market grows at a rate of like 10% a year, so a little bit below average. But here, what the site does is it suggests how you should build your own portfolio. And this is actually what I do to a certain extent. So if you use apply template, and this is based off of your quiz. So if you want to go deeper, I recommend that you take the 16 question quiz. But just apply template here, and it builds you a little portfolio. And I think, yeah, this fits me pretty well. I would actually lower corporate bonds by a little bit. Uh, I don't really do REITs, so low corporate bonds for me. Get rid of the REITs. Probably add in some crypto and up the large cap stocks just by a little bit. But yeah, so my risk increased by a little bit more. So did my volatility or bumpiness, but my growth also increased. Um, and here you can choose which like asset model that you wish to like add, right? Uh, but yeah, and then it shows that I'm moderately aggressive, which is true. Uh, but you can either click on here or here. But let's just analyze my portfolio. So it puts it in plain English because when I originally made this, it was highly technical. And some of my friends, when they were trying it out, they're like, yeah, like it looks good and all, but I don't really understand any of the terminology. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense. You're not a business major. So kind of like had it be put into plain English, right? Or into like layman's terms. And then it displays my comfort zone. So when I was taking a quiz, I said that I can stomach a loss of 35%, right? But for a bad year with my portfolio, I'll be expected to lose 12%, aka $1,100. So it's a little bit misaligned. But that's to be expected, right? So we like, I don't know, we're not always in sync with our expectations, right? So what this helps to do, not to really help to correct your portfolio and your expectations. It's a tool just to let you know, like, hey, like reality is not as it seems. It's just here to give you this information about yourself, right? And reward for the risk, right? So my tolerance and my portfolio. My portfolio is less than my tolerance. Okay. So that means that I could actually, or that I have such a high risk tolerance, then I should increase the risk in my portfolio, theoretically speaking, of course. And this shows you like the possible growth over time. And this is simulated 1,000 different times. Okay. So that's pretty sick. And you can do it for 5, 10, 30 years, 20. Let's just do 5. And let's do whoa. Let's do 100,000. So best case scenario, top 10%. Um, I'm all the way up to $200,000, or my portfolio barely grows at all over 5 years, and I'm only up $5,000, which is terrible. Okay, for like 5 years of growth with $100,000 up in the market. And this is like stress test scenarios, right? Like you always want to do a stress test scenario because you never know when it's going to be like a black swan event. So 2008 crisis, I'm losing 36%. COVID, losing 31%. 2022 rate hikes, I'm losing 16, just south of 17%. But during the bull market, I'm sure I'm up here. Yeah, I'm up 25.5%, just over, which is pretty nice. And you get to like download this. Okay, so you can share it with your friends. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know who would like really be interested in that, but I thought it'd be a cool feature just to add. and this is your like number ranking. Oh, so I'm pretty similar to Warren Buffett. It's pretty cool. Obviously, I'm not really similar to Warren Buffett, in terms of investments and success with investments. But yeah, so you kind of get a benchmark, right, about like who invests similarly to you, right? So close to BlackRock, um, not close to Goldman, but the best firm style for me would be Morgan Stanley. So not only does it like let you know who's similar to you, but it also gives you like a best firm fit. So if you're ever interested, you can just go and check them out. All right. And this is all unbiased. Okay. This is all just code. So it is unbiased. All right. It's just the facts. Okay. The facts with the information that we have. And again, educational purposes only. All right. This is an educational comparison. I am not endorsing Morgan Stanley. All right. They're not. Obviously, I'm not sponsored by freaking Morgan Stanley. But so this is all dependent on your results from the quiz. You can always redo the quiz as well. And this gives you some strategies, okay, that you could implement, right? So you can do growth in investing. It explains it, how it works, but what to also watch out for. It also says if it's like higher risk or like lower risk or active, like what you're doing right now, or if it's balanced, okay? And here's some articles that I personally wrote myself, okay? So I wrote all of these, all right? And it's just like I don't know, talking about things that I'm interested in relative to finance and why I do the things that I do for this website. And here's the glossary as well. So you can search up anything here related to finance that's on the website. What I actually do need to add is some of the investment styles. Yeah, I need to add that so we can go more into detail. And so let's go back to the portfolio. You can add specific securities here. All right, so let's add in a popular one like Apple. Okay, let's add Apple. Let's add Nvidia, and let's type in like some random stock ticker. Let's do like let's see if this one exists. T YU. Let's see if that's a real one. It is. Okay. Uh Truly International Holdings. Never heard of these guys. Yummy Candy. This one sounds pretty fun. Let's add in Yummy Candy. And let's add in a stock that I've been interested in. Joby Aviation. I have been one of their earliest investors. Joby Aviation Air Taxis. Check them out. Okay. So my growth dropped down to 0.9%, which is pretty funny. Is this balance? Okay. Oh, and this also like auto balances it. You can turn this off if you want and use the slider. But yeah, let's do analyze my portfolio. Now it's a fair match. Okay, did not know I was that risky. Wow. But we can go to Neuro News and let's just do a little bit of refresher. Boom. There you go. Like articles specifically tailored for your portfolio. And I actually want to expand this. I want even more articles. I want the biggest and the best articles. Okay. But yeah, that's what it does. Again, Nero Risk. I will be posting this up in the bio. Also in the comment section. Website from a retired frat bro.